located on 134 New Jersey Avenue. Now, today we are having a live interview session hosted by T.G.I.F.J. So, while you guys are at home, I'm going to be drinking a cup of coffee. We're at the meeting room. So, you guys will come during the week, come drink some coffee, come hang out, and come relax. But enough about the meeting room. Now for our live interview session here at the meeting room with Carol Martinez and Robert Fulton Hargrove II. Take it away. Bye, guys.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back. We're so excited this early, beautiful, warm afternoon. In fact, it's pretty warm in here right now, but nevertheless, it's all good. Thank you for tuning in, and we're just going to wait a few moments as we gather more viewers, but we are very excited with our guest. It's a personal family, friend of our family, and I'm sure that you're going to be really excited to hear some of the information that he will be sharing, as well as he tells us a little bit of the things that he's been doing in our community. So just a few more minutes as we gather a few more viewers. So let me see how we're doing. Awesome. Okay, things are moving right along. So again, thank you. And with us this afternoon is R. Fulton Hargrove II. We're really excited. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
I'm so happy to be with you.
Yes,
and your
I'm excited.
wonderful audience who, thank God, I follow Jesus.
Yes, okay. He got that right. Most people always ask, what are those letters for? And that's like he said, thank God I follow Jesus. So I'm just going to ask him a few questions as we just get into our conversation. You know how we do. We just organic here, just free going. And if you have any questions, post them on Facebook Live, and one of our staff members will definitely let us know what kind of questions or what are you interested in knowing about R. Fulton Hargrove II. But if you hear me saying Bishop, don't get all twisted who she's talking about, because he's also a bishop. So Bishop, thank you for being with us this afternoon, and I'm so excited that you're here. And more importantly, I thank you that you made the time, knowing how important or how much things that you have, scheduled throughout the day, considering how busy you are. So first of all, I would like to ask, tell me a little bit about you, about the man.
Okay, well, let me confess at the very outset that I am extremely excited to be here with my spiritual daughter, for you to give me this opportunity to be in the presence of your viewing audience. And I personally want to say thank you to you, and thank you to you for joining in. There's not much I can say about me. I am a native of Atlantic City. I did graduate from Atlantic City High School, went away to college, came back, was called to ministry, started a church in 1989. And my message has always been the work of the church is outside the church.
That's awesome. Like, you just said a mouthful right there. So I just want to share with you one of the things, or one of the reasons why we brought him in this afternoon. And it's because he's concerned about our communities and to make our communities better. And that's really important to both our hearts. So, Bishop, as we continue, would you mind sharing with my audience, our audience today, what are some of the things that you are involved in within our community?
Yes, at this time I'm currently serving in our community as the South Jersey chairperson for the Boy Scouts of America. I'm also serving as the chairperson for the faith-based chair of the Coalition for a Safe Community. I'm also serving as an Atlantic City police chaplain. I also serve on the Mayor's Advisory Board. I also serve as the president of the Fellowship of Churches of Atlantic City and vicinity. And the other three we can do another time.
So you see why I say that our guest is very busy, so we really appreciate him taking the time. So if I may, I would like you to share a little bit, about the Boy Scouts of America. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. The office of the president of the fellowship is something that a local pastor is elected to do by their peers. For this season, I have been elected. As being elected, I looked at some of the ails of our community and wanted to know how could I address them. One of the major ails in our community is that we have fatherless homes. And I wanted to know how could we impact these fatherless homes, quote unquote, outside of the traditional church.
Excellent.
Let's go knock on the door and take a food packet or this or that. We have real problems in our community because the head is not there. And so I prayed about it, and I needed a collaboration. I needed an institution that had the finances. The churches have money, but it's recycled within the church just to keep the church alive. I needed an outside stream of income to help. And therefore, what I was able to do is have the program called SOS, Saving Our Sons.
Awesome.
I took that acronym to the Boy Scouts of America, Jersey Shore District, and asked them, was it possible to collaborate, the Fellowship of Churches of Atlantic City and the Jersey Shore Boy Scouts of America. And in turn, they asked me to serve as the chairperson for the Jersey Shore Boy Scouts of America. And in doing that, I was able to work along with a district chairperson and some other employees, but I volunteered. And what we did is we went into the cluster developments of our community and knocked on doors and asked, was there help needed in raising their sons? And the answer was yes, but we don't have the finances for the programs that are available. And one of the things the collaboration has allowed me to do with the Boy Scouts of America is what you might call sweat equity. In other words, if the parent will give us their boy, what we will do is if he comes to the first meeting, we'll give him his pants.
Oh, nice.
If he comes to the second meeting, we'll give him his shirt. He comes to the third meeting, we give him his belt. He comes to the fourth meeting, we give him his scarf. He comes to the fifth meeting, we got him locked in, and we give him his knot for his scarf. Therefore, he does not have to worry about, I can afford pants, I can't afford shoes, I can't afford the shirt. The parents don't have to worry about I have 3 kids or 2 kids and worried about the income of it. We use sweat equity. And what we do is we teach them intimacy, discipline, love, and value. Intimacy, discipline, love, and value. The 4 ingredients that the gang uses to draw young men in.
Wow, that's good.
And so what we've done is taken the same principles and used them to draw them into a structured environment and teach them intimacy. Somebody cares about you.
Good.
Discipline. When you do wrong, there are repercussions. Love. It's real. And value. Value. People that participate in athletics, they get jackets with the letter on it. Value. People that participate in gangs, they get colors with the name on it. Value. The Olympics, they get the seal of it. Value. Cars, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Cadillac, the emblem. Value. We give them value. We tell them it's value in being you.
Excellent, excellent. One of the things that I hear the loudest, and is one of the things that really moves me, is that you have realized that there's a problem.
Absolutely.
And we all know that there's a problem, but even more importantly, you have found a way to find the solution.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's really important, and it's imperative that we really look at these situations, not in, okay, there's this problem, this problem, this problem, but what will we do
Absolutely.
to resolve these situations? So you said that one of the things that you say is that, you know, in every meeting, they get a new piece of their uniform.
Yeah, the initiation, because to join the Boy Scouts in a traditional setting, not working with at-risk youth, in a traditional setting, your parent has to buy your book, has to buy your uniform, pay for all your fees, pay for all your classes, pay for all your awards that you gain. I am the fundraiser.
Wow,
I go
that's
into
good.
the community and I raise funds from the churches, from the law offices, from the Atlantic City Police Department, the fire department, the government, social, civically, wherever I can get finances, I get that finance. And I use that finance and ask the district to match it so we can offset the expense of keeping them away.
Wow.
But
wow.
nothing comes easy to those that are serious. If we allow them to come in and give them the whole uniform at the first meeting, they may come to the second meeting, they may not. But what really works is when they have to earn their pants, earn their shirt, earn their belt, earn their scarf, and earn their knot. By that fifth meeting, they're in. And we have been very successful. Last year, we were able to start 20 charters, 594 at-risk youth.
Wow. And another key thing is that you say at-risk youth.
Yes.
And that's extremely important, because when I hear you speaking, what I see is that a lot of us are going to reap the benefits within the community. Not only are these young people being deposited, love and value and these things that are important, but we are all going to feel the effect around the community. As parents, as law officers, as teachers, educators, we're all gonna benefit from what it is that you're doing. So another thing that I noticed is that you said there are 20 charters, is that correct?
We established 20 charters with 594 youth between Atlantic City, Pleasantville, Nispa, and Mays Landing.
Wow, so it's not just within Atlantic City.
It's not just within Atlantic City, even though my heart is there.
Excellent, excellent. And it's important to realize that, that we do have to look outside, because we know that even though youth are from within Atlantic City, they're still cohabitating sometime.
Correct.
Spending time together with Pleasantville, so on and so forth. So it's important, that our listeners even realize the value of this program. And at the end of our program, I'm going to make sure that we give you whatever information you need to get involved. But what are some of the things that people that might be watching and are either interested for their own youth or are interested in being a charter? What does it mean to be a charter?
What we were able to do, when I say establish a charter, is go to a church that is already in the community, that already has a facility, and ask them, say, would you like to help us, SOS, Save Our Sons? And what they will do is they will sign up and they will get a number. In Atlantic City, we have a church, and that church is 331. That is the charter, that is the troop number. So all of the boys that come in under that number, they're in troop 331. There's a weekly meeting. Most meetings are on Thursday, because churches have Bible study on Wednesday, some on Tuesday, some on Saturday, because we have a charter also at the PAL. We move the charters around. We have one at the Salvation Army. We just move them all around the community. And what happens, once a week, we meet to deposit into these young men, and they grow into manhood, and then we reward them.
Excellent.
We take them to Great Adventure twice a year. We take them camping twice a year, and you should see them out in the woods. Young men who have never been outside Atlantic City,
wow.
And we take them into the woods to sleep in a tent, and they're asking for things that are the convenience of home, because they have no clue what it is to sleep out in the woods.
Wow.
But after that experience of taking people in Atlantic City from the wards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, who don't necessarily get along all the time, and bringing them together in a different environment, what we hope to do is the nonsense of friends killing friends, neighbors killing neighbors, eliminates, because at this young age of 8, 9, and 10, they're understanding we're all family.
That's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. It's really important too, that we realize as a community that the only thing that empowers us is when we have like some form of camaraderie. And like you've already stated, we see that a lot of times in gangs and stuff
Absolutely.
like that, which I'm not even going to, really pinpoint today. I want to concentrate on the positive, but it's important too, and something that you talk about is that you show them value and love and so forth. Would you share with our community why it's so important that we recapture these values and instill them in a different way into our young men?
It's very important, because the missing ingredient when there's no father in the home is one word: validation.
Excellent.
Every male wants to be validated, and he will find an avenue. He'll find a stream. He'll find a gang. He'll find a club. He'll find mischievousness. He'll become a good thief. He'll become a good liar. He'll become a good offender of women, whatever he can to be validated at. Wow. And so what we do is get them in young, and what we do is validate them as just a man, not a thief, not a liar, not a robber, not an offender of women. As a young man, you are valued. We validate you for who you are. You might be light, you might be dark, you might be heavy, you might be skinny. Whoever you are, we validate that. And that causes them to gravitate toward an identity. And once you have an identity, then nobody can pull you left or right, because you already know who you are and where you want to go.
That's so awesome. You know, as a parent, we're both parents, so we've been able to deal with a lot of these issues. And our children are older men and women with children of their own. So we've been able to firsthand experience what it is to see a young person that has been instilled value, you know, and we can, you know, agree that growing up with our children, even ourselves, we weren't rich people.
Correct.
So, you know, we've experienced hardships as well.
Absolutely.
So it's important that our viewer understands that where you come from, it's not really what's relevant, but what's relevant is the identity that that young person feels that they have or don't have, for them to know that they're valuable. Because, you know, we see now even, you know, and this is something that it's important to talk about. I just read an article about a 10-year-old that committed suicide.
Yes.
So I would dare say that that child obviously did not have nowhere an understanding of even that they were loved. So, you know, I just want to encourage our listener to look into more carefully or you know, more deeply into what's going on in your surroundings with your children. And we acknowledge that it's a challenging time for parents.
Yes, it is.
Because what's going on with children, you know, with their friends and their peers. So what would be one of the things that you would encourage parents, you know, of young children? And by the way, what is the age group?
The Boy Scouts, there's a Cub Scout. And I think the Cub Scout might be the 7 to 10, and then the Boy Scout is 11 to 17, wow. And then the Explorers are, I think, 18 to 21. So we have those three different levels. We are not male chauvinists. We have not concretely established something for females, but I am working on something called Pink Angels.
Yes!
I'm working on something called Pink Angels, where we can also take the same principles of intimacy, discipline, love, and value, and instill them in young ladies.
Wow.
So that's not official yet, but we are working on that behind the scenes.
That's excellent, excellent. And as a mother of two sons, just like you, we understand that it's sometimes, you know, with society, to love our daughters a little easier than it is, or to validate our, you know, female children, our daughters, more easy than it is with our sons. So I really commend you for really taking the time, you know, to instill into our sons. But would you say that this program is open for anybody, or is it geared just for certain people, certain boys?
This program is open for all youth. However, it just seems to be that in the areas that we deal in, they come from single-parent homes. But if there is a two-parent home, we welcome your youth. For the first time in the history of the Boy Scouts for the Atlantic City, Pleasantville area, we are doing something called having young men acquire Eagle Scout status. We have never produced an Eagle Scout, and currently we have 7 individuals that are on path to becoming Eagle Scouts, which is the highest honor you can get. I believe 30 presidents have been Eagle Scouts. I mean, it's just an amazing honor. It helps you get into college. It helps your credit score. It's an amazing achievement. And
that's really awesome. You mentioned college. And, you know, I think that it's important for us, even as we have this conversation, to acknowledge that these values are so important for our young men, because, you know, once they begin to acknowledge or to realize that they have value, it opens up the world to them in a different way.
Absolutely.
So can you talk a little bit about, how you have seen and, how you have experienced working with these young men, like some of the outcomes that you have seen in these young men through the program?
We've had many positive outcomes, but the greatest outcome is to see those youth who have been closed, those youth who have been shut down because of the domestic violence that has taken place in the home. We have had a great deal of young men, I call it the Jody syndrome. What happens is his father is in jail. So Jody comes and moves in. And Jody does not want the mother, and Jody does not want the boy. He wants his sister. And so what he does, because the boy and the girl have two different parents, is he tries to get the mother to send him away with his grandmother so he can have his sister. And his complex, his attitude, his anger is knotted up. And to get these young boys to open up and the tears that they shed because they love their mother and they love their sister, and they have such a deep understanding of a fake.
Wow.
And that exposure of that is what gets them in trouble. So they go to school with an attitude. They come home with an attitude. They go to the playground with an attitude. They go to the store with an attitude. They do everything with an attitude. But we've been able to redirect their energy. Redirect their energy. Wow. And say, what you have to do is make sure that your light shines so that your mom can see.
Wow. Wow, that is extremely powerful. I mean, you just opened up a whole other box right there. And we know...
And that's where it is.
Yes, yes. And, it's important, that the listeners realize that this Jody syndrome is not just, for a specific group of people. This can happen in any home. But it's important that, I reiterate that, depositing in them, you're valuable, you're loved. Because, I think that that's one of the most important things. I remember, years ago, you used to speak about what was the mindset of a young man that a car is coming through the road and they just jump in and they challenge you.
Challenge in the car.
So it's, it just shows, that there's so many young men that are angry, and a lot of times we wonder why.
Yeah, but he wants to be validated. I got heart.
Yes, yes.
I got heart. I can't do nothing about the situation at home, but with my friends out there, I'm going to show them how much heart I got. I'm going to show them how much heart I got. I'm going to challenge your car. Wow. Well, suppose his brakes don't work when he hit him.
Wow. Definitely, definitely. So, yeah, I think it's really important. Now, tell me, if there was a person that would want to get involved with the program, would it require some type of training or anything like that? I'm talking about a leader? Okay,
yes.
Tell us about that.
The fortunate thing about the Boy Scouts of America and this collaboration that we have, if you would like to be a volunteer, there is training that is free.
Wow.
And once you are trained by the Boy Scouts, then you come under our insurance.
Wow.
And some move from the volunteer to the employee status.
Excellent.
And we've had, I think, 16 people move from volunteer to employee status.
Wow.
To working, because we established those 20 charters. So we needed help. And you can't have all volunteers. You need people that you can count on. So the only way to make someone accountable is to pay them to be there.
Excellent. I remember you used to say that all the time. And it's really awesome to hear that you're also creating work or jobs.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is what we call value. But, to be truthful, as a parent, I'm sure people are thinking that this is what dropped, to my mind the minute that you said volunteers. Is there some type of system that, I'm trying to find the right words to say, check out the people that come in to volunteer with our sons?
Absolutely. There's a background check.
Just be clear.
It's a background check that is very extensive. I believe it's the same background check for a police officer or a government agent. It's an extensive background check. And if there is any question of it, then it comes to me for my final decision. Because say if someone was 16 years old and they got caught with a joint and they had to do a community service through the courts, and now they're 36 and they haven't been in any trouble, they'll say, well, we really want to let them work, but they did do something when they were 16, and now they're 36. It's 20 years later. Then it'll fall to me, and then I'll do a personal interview, and I'll determine whether they can go forth or not.
That's excellent, and it's really exciting to hear you say that, because I think a lot of parents will be interested, and I think a lot of parents will have questions that they probably wouldn't dare just go ahead and ask. So don't worry, viewer, I got your back. So, you know, it's really important, and I know that, you know, we discussed talking about a lot of other things, but I'm just so intrigued and excited about this program, because one of the things that, you know, we talk here at T.G.I.F.J, one of the things that we're always concerned about is not just focusing on the problem. Okay, we all see that. What are we going to do about it? And it's really exciting, you know, in turn, to have you come in and not just say, you know, I'm great and I've been around, but I'm actually doing something of value. Because, you know, we find that a lot of things are occurring, but how are they bringing value, not to me, but everybody else?
Absolutely. And we've also been able to extend our Boy Scout program into after-school programs.
Excellent.
And Pleasantville has benefited the greatest from it. We have seen every troop in Pleasantville, with all the kids in the troops in Pleasantville, their grades went from D's to A's.
Wow.
Every one of them.
Wow.
Every one of them. I mean, it is an amazing program. We had some amazing volunteers come with us, and what I would do after school is they would come to the Ralph Peterson Community Center, and I would provide the food, and we had volunteers to work with them, and we work with them, and we help them, and we help them, and we teach them how to concentrate. We teach them how to focus. We teach them that it's a time for everything.
Wow.
You can play, but not during class time.
Excellent, excellent.
And their grades, we caused them, bring that report card, and we went to see it. And we saw them go from CD students, nobody was an ABC, CD students to A students. And then we start discovering talent, because amongst them we start saying, well, let's see what you can do. You know, who would like to sing? And then we had young ladies in there that were a little shy, but they could sing. We had young men in there that didn't know the poem by heart, but they could read a poem.
Wow.
And so these avenues that we are stretching our tentacles into, what it is doing is developing a community within a community.
So you hear it here first. I mean, this, you know, as we can hear of the testimonies, you know, of young men and even young ladies that have gone through the program or are in the program, we are clearly seeing the benefits. So it's not something that might work, but it's something that's actually working. So what would you say to a parent? Because I'm thinking, you know, I remember when my kids would have been older, for me to introduce them to, you know, a program like this, and they will probably say, nah, I'm too big, I'm too grown, blah, blah, blah. I think that it will probably be easier to get the younger ones, but how about the older ones, like pre-teen years? Do you think that they'll still come?
They're tougher, but they come. And it's all about the approach. Because I did run into a group in a certain section of the city, and I asked them, what are you about? And you gave me, what are you about? What are you about? You know, and they gave me the response, and they were correct. It's nothing to do. It's nothing for us to do. And I said, suppose I could take you to Washington, to the new museum. Suppose I could take you to Great Adventure once or twice during the summer. Suppose I could get you a mentor, someone that you would have as an outlet, that you could say things to, and it would never be heard again. Someone that you could build trust with, someone that could father you in the absence of your father. They said, that's not real. I said, yes, it is. I'm doing it all over the city. I'm doing it in Pleasantville. I'm doing it in Mays Landing. I'm doing it in this one. And by not going to them saying, be a Boy Scout.
Wow.
You follow me?
Yes.
Appealing to their need is nothing to do. I can give you things to do. And then when they say how to do it, and that is how we started the chapter in the Chelsea Heights section of Atlantic City.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, and as we continue to talk, you know, one of the things that comes to mind, you know, is the fact that there are a lot of fatherless homes. And, you know, we just want to encourage the mother that's listening, you know, that she's been waiting for an opportunity like this. and felt like there is nothing, it's not saved. How about if I send my son there? But, we want to take this opportunity to appeal to that mom that's working, 1, 2. Some mothers are even working 3 jobs, and they really need a support system. What do you say to that mother?
I say to her that when we put the information up, please call, because we are absolutely 100% serious in what we do. And I also appeal because I've ran into fathers where their wives died.
Wow.
And their love for them has caused them not to remarry. And they're single parents. And even though he knows what to do, he has to work. So he's still an absentee father.
Wow.
Because as soon as his kid comes home, he goes to work. And so we've had to work with them also. But we don't want anybody to be discouraged, and we want everybody to call us, take advantage of this opportunity, and be us. Once you see what is happening with your child, when they move on, then you step in and help someone else's child. My baby's 28, my oldest is 33. But I still have a love. I still have the love for that boy that has a man inside him and doesn't know.
Excellent, excellent. And something that you said that just jumped in, that jumped up inside, is you said, a boy that doesn't know that man is inside him.
He's inside.
And it's really encouraging, to hear, just as, he's mentioned that he's a father. I'm a mother as well. And we firsthand have experienced a lot of these challenges, even with our own children's friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had to open my home up several times to allow my son's friends to come in and live with us, my daughter's friends to come in and live with us, and mentor them and parent them. And to this day, they still call my wife and I mom and dad. They still honor us. They still love us. And I never knew doing that then that it would project to this level.
And always remember that it's not, sometimes we think, well, I can't do anything. But even if you're watching and you're listening to this information and you don't have small children of your own, but you know of a friend, a sister, a neighbor that can benefit from something like this, we encourage you, to forward the information. I'm going to definitely make sure that I get all the information from Bishop to make sure that all the information that you could possibly need is available to you. How about, the last question I will probably have is there any further help even within the program, even for young people that, might be having some emotional challenges?
Great question. Because I'm a certified mental health agent in the state of New Jersey, and I have a lot of relationships with the mental health community and with some of the, what you might call, corrective programs for at-risk youth.
Excellent.
I extend myself, if I see a youth that has a bad anger management problem, I extend myself to that home and to that parent outside of the Boy Scouts. I will extend myself and get them pointed to the wraparound services that they can take advantage of. Actually, I have a young man now that is in New York. He had to actually leave high school and go into Job Corps because he was having such a bad time in high school. It wasn't he wasn't a bad kid, is that he couldn't learn the way they were teaching.
Wow.
And so I explained to him what Job Corps was, took him to an interview. Once he saw the presentation, he said, I can do that. So now he is in New York on a $30,000 scholarship.
Wow.
That he chose to major in mechanics. And what Job Corps will do is not only train them, but when he completes their program, he'll be immediately connected with Toyota or Pep Boys or Nissan with a credible job.
Wow, that's pretty exciting. And, I want to tell the listener that a lot of times we don't know what to do, and sometimes it's just getting access to one resource.
That's correct.
That can point you to other people that will assist you. Don't stay there wondering, should I, shouldn't I? Just take that first step. Because, I say all the time, if you do nothing, there's a definite result that you're going to get. But if you try something, at least you open up the possibilities.
Absolutely.
So, we're wrapping up now. I really would love to stay here and talk a lot more, because I know you have so much more to offer.
But can I give a closing statement?
Yes, please do.
In our community, a lot of people are broken, a lot of people are hurt, and a lot of people don't trust. But from what you've heard today, you might say it's unbelievable, or I don't know how true or stable or strong it is. But I want to say trust is extended to the limit of truth and no more. And that means trust us until we break the trust.
Wow. He sold me, and I don't even have children. That's more. So, we're really excited, that we've taken the opportunity to talk with Bishop R. Fulton Hargrove II. We've received so much information. I mean, it's probably even more information that we could have actually digested at this time. But I'm encouraging the viewer to share the video, share it with specific people that can benefit from the resources that Bishop is offering. And you're not going to lose anything by finding out more. So I encourage you to please take the time to find out even more, and commit to helping your son grow, because it is of extreme benefit. I understand, that we're living in a time where a lot of parents, because they didn't have this or that, they didn't do this or that, now, they are having a challenging time with encouraging their children to, suffer the consequences when they do something wrong, to work, to have chores, to work around the house, And I say we were required to do a lot of things, and I think we turned out pretty good. Can you, in closing, talk, to parents regarding the importance of, even at home, to give their children responsibilities to help them grow as men and women and to grow in value?
Family is the backbone of our community. If we don't have family, we don't have anything. What we have lost in the northeast section is the extended family.
Wow.
Our ancestors had extended family, where the grandparent, their children, and grandchildren lived in the same home. Values were then passed down.
Excellent.
And then received to the third generation. What we must do, even if we don't have the extended family in the home, we must continue to take the values that were given to us and perpetuate those values in our children. Because after all, we turned out mighty nice.
Woo! You said that very well, and I commend you for that. So I want to thank the viewer for joining in. We are so excited. I mean, that closing statement said it all. It's all about values, and it starts at home. And truth be told, some of us feel as though we don't have the resources or the support even within our own home. But I encourage you to reach out to programs like this one, that you may be able to even get more resources, and in turn, you're able to strengthen the core of your family. So thank you again. Thank you, Bishop R. Fulton Hargrove II, for joining us this afternoon.
It's been my distinct pleasure and an honor.
Thank you so much. And thank you, the viewer, for joining in this afternoon. We know that you're very busy, but again, I encourage you and I ask you to share this video, share the information that you have heard this afternoon. Yes, I am being very redundant, because the information that has been shared this afternoon is of utmost value and importance to the young men within our homes, within our extended families, within our communities, within our cities, our county, our cities. So I just encourage you to share the video again, and I thank you for tuning in to T.G.I.F.J. Thank God I Follow Jesus, here live at the meeting room, 134 New Jersey Avenue, Absecon, New Jersey. So I ask you to like all of our pages so that you can stay informed with our upcoming events and what's going on going forward. And lastly, I will definitely, if he would come back,
Think about privilege.
Excellent. I called him Bishop, and now I'll call him Dr. Hargrove. We'll have him come back because he's filled with resources and information that could benefit our families and our community. And again, we're here so that we can build communities. I thank you for joining us and have an amazing rest of your afternoon. See ya.
Hi guys. Wow. Value and family. He took me at family because you know how we are here. But the programs that Robert Fulton Hargrove have are awesome for the kids that need help or that don't need it. Like for me, I don't even think they had that back in my day, but I would have took the help regardless of anything. Going to college and getting extra help, putting things on my resume, that would have been awesome for me, but here I am. So, it's great that he focuses on creating their identity, and he helps the youth grow to become great men and women. I mean, what more can we say? Our kids need it nowadays with the things that are going on with, you know, electronics, Apple, all the phones, kids at a young age having a phone. I mean, who can't use the extra help with a single parent or with both parents at home? Everyone can always use the extra hand. So I suggest you guys to go check out the links, you know, call to see what can help you or how it can help you benefit your kids, you know, as they grow. But I would like for you guys to check it out, okay? Because I need to check it out for my kid as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe, you know, like, comment, share the page. And thanks for, you know, joining. Thank God I follow Jesus. Bye, guys.